By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another Timmy's Top 10. And for today's Top 10, we are looking at janky combos in old school Magic the Gathering. And on number 10, we are finding two red creatures, the Stone Giant and the Often Troll. The Stone Giant is a 3/4 creature for 2 red and 2, and it reads, tap to make one of your creatures a flying creature until end of turn. Target creature which must have toughness less than Stone Giant's power is destroyed at the end of the turn. And then we have the Often Troll, which is a 2/2 creature for 1 red and 2, and it reads, red regenerates. So in other words, I can make my troll flying all the time, and it's not gonna kill itself because it has regenerate, so it's going to stay in the game. So that's a perfect combination here with the Stone Giant. We're finding it here on number 10. On number 9, we are finding the blue Fireball combo, Underworld Dreams and Brain Geyser. Underworld Dreams is an enchantment from Legends for 3 black, and it reads, Underworld Dreams does 1 damage to opponent for each card he or she draws. And then we have Brain Geyser, a blue card, a sorcery for 2 blue and X, and it reads, draw X cards or force opponent to draw X cards. So basically what's happening here is when you have the Underworld Dreams in play, you're forcing your opponent to draw a ton of cards, and for each card that he draws extra because of the Brain Geyser, you deal 1 damage. So then you have a blue Fireball. I think this is really cool. You can also add a Black Vice to the mix, but I just kind of kept all the combos to 2-card combos in this list, but just some food for thought. So let's continue to number 8. On number 8, we are finding Sengir Vampire and Pharaoh's Mantle as a combo. Sengir Vampire is a creature from black for 2 black and 3. It's a 4/4 flyer, and it reads, Vampire gets a +1/+1 counter each time a creature dies during a turn in which Vampire damaged it, unless the dead creature is regenerated. And then we have Pharaoh's Mantle, an enchant creature from Fallen Empires. It's a white card for 1 white and 2, and it reads, if target creature attacks and is not blocked, it may deal X +2 damage to any other creature, where X is the power of the creature Pharaoh's Mantle enchants. If it does so, it deals no damage to opponent this turn. Now, unfortunately, we have that last sentence, if it does so, it deals no damage to the opponent, because then this combo would be even sweeter. But what I really like about this combo is a vampire wears a mantle, so it makes sense. And also, if you just look purely at the idea of the combo, when you have a Sengir Vampire on the board and it's not destroyed, usually opponents don't want to block it because they don't want to make it bigger. When you put a Pharaoh's Mantle on it, your opponent basically has no choice. If it doesn't block, you're going to kill the creature anyway. So it's gonna grow regardless of what the opponent decides. So yeah, that's it here on number 8. Let's continue to number 7. On number 7, we're finding a Legends combo here, Heaven's Gate and Jovial Evil. Heaven's Gate is a 1 white, an instant, and it reads, changes the text of 1 or more target creatures to white until end of turn. You choose which and how many creatures are affected. Costs to tap, maintain, or use a special ability of target creatures remain entirely unchanged. And then we have Jovial Evil, which is a sorcery from Legends, and it reads, Jovial Evil does 2 damage to opponent for each white creature he or she controls. So in other words, I am giving my opponent a lot of white creatures because of Heaven's Gate, and then I cast my Jovial Evil, also giving him a lot of damage. So I really like this combo because, first of all, it's from Legends, one of my favorite sets, and second of all, look at the art of this card. And okay, also on the 3rd place, it's a pretty cool way to, deal direct damage with black. So this is it, Heaven's Gate and Jovial Evil. Then on number 6, we find Kismet and Concordant Crossroads. Actually, the only combo in this list with a green card. I didn't do that on purpose. I like green. I like the color green. If you know a good combo with green, please leave a comment. Let me know. I know there are tons of combos, but remember, for this list, I was looking at 2-card combos. I really like this one. Kismet is an enchantment from Legends. 1 white and 3. It reads, all creatures, lands, and artifacts played by an opponent come into play tapped. Now what I really like about this, it only works one way. And then you have Concordant Crossroads, which is 1 green. It's an enchant world, and it reads, creatures may attack or use abilities that include the tap symbol during the turn they are brought into play. But guess what? They come into play tapped because of Kismet. So in other words, all your creatures have the benefits of Concordant Crossroads, but your opponent does not because of the Kismet. And because you're playing green, Kismet is probably, very easily playable in turn 3, sometimes even turn 2. So I think this is a really nice combo, and that's why I've put it on number 6. On number 5, oh, this combo is just so beautiful. It's again a Legends combo, by the way. I've noticed there are a lot of Legend cards in here. Maybe because Legends just has so much flavor and cool cards in them. So this combo is, you need Time Elemental and you need Nebuchadnezzar. So this Legends creature. And Time Elemental is 1 blue and 2, and it's a summon elemental. And for, it's a 0/2, and for 2 and 2 blue, tap, return target permanent to owner's hand. Cannot target permanents with enchantment cards playing on them. If Time Elemental blocks or attacks, it is destroyed and does 5 damage to the controller. In other words, don't attack or block with Time Elemental. Then we've got Nebuchadnezzar, which is a summon legend, and it's 1 blue, 1 black, and 3. It's a 3/3 creature, beautiful art by Richard Kane Ferguson, summon legend, X and tap, name a card. Opponent reveals X cards from his or her hand at random, or the entire hand if he or she does not have enough cards. Opponents then discards any of those cards that match the one you named. May only use this power during your turn. So what's really nice is that with the Time Elemental, you know what you've bounced back to your opponent's hand. And what's even cooler is, if you play this right and you have tons of mana, you do need tons of mana, you can actually force him to discard 2 cards. So it's like him to Turek, because at his end step, you can use Time Elemental, bounce something back. Then it's your turn again. You untap your Time Elemental, bounce something again. And then your legend, Nebuchadnezzar, comes into play. X step, well, it's already in play, or else it would have Summoning Sickness, but it means comes into the picture of this combo. X step, you know the 2 cards, so you're going to pay X equal to the amount of cards he has in hand. He has to show them all, and he has to discard the 2 cards that you bounced. So, a beautiful combo, and I think if you can pull this off, you have my respect. Whether you win or lose the game, for me, you will be the winner. Okay, let's now go to number 4. On number 4, we're finding an Arabian Nights combo, Sorcerer's Queen and Old Man of the Sea. So maybe this combo is a little bit well known. I do really like it though. I think it's very flavorful. Sorcerer's Queen is 2 black and 1. It's a summoned sorceress, and it reads, tap to make another creature 0/2 until end of turn. Treat this exactly as if the numbers in the lower right of the target card were 0 and 2. All special characteristics and enchantments on the creature are unaffected. So then we have Old Man of the Sea for 2 blue and 1, and that reads, it's a 2/3 by the way, and that reads, tap to gain control of a creature with power no greater than Old Man's power. If Old Man becomes untapped, you lose control of this creature. You may choose not to untap Old Man as normal. You also lose control of the creature if Old Man dies, or if the creature's power becomes greater than Old Man's. Now, unfortunately, it reads, or if the creature's power becomes greater than Old Man's, because unfortunately, that means you have to keep your Sorcerer's Queen tapped. But what I do like about this is I can tap my Sorcerer's Queen. I can use my Old Man of the Sea to kind of steal his creature, and he can no longer use it. Then I can maybe use his creature as a blocker when he attacks, or maybe I can combine it with Diamond Valley or with some other kind of sack engine so that I can sacrifice his creature, and then I can steal another creature and so forth. But just as a combo like this, I like it. So we find that on number 4. So it's time for our top 3. On number 3, we have Festival and Siren Skull. Festival is one of those cards that has never been reprinted. So and look at that art again. I know I keep saying the art is beautiful, but that's what I love about old school, the art. I think that's what I love more than what the cards actually do. But okay, Festival, 1 white, it's an instant from the dark. Opponent may not declare an attack this turn. Play during opponent's upkeep phase. So in a way, I think the way the game was meant to be was that it was much more about combat. So in that regard, Festival is a bit of a white time walk, you could say. So then we have Siren Skull, which is for 1 blue, it's an instant, and it reads, all of opponent's creatures that can attack must do so. Any non-wall creatures that cannot attack are destroyed at the end of turn. Play during opponent's turn before opponent's attack. Creatures summoned this turn are unaffected by Siren Skull. The cool thing about this is that because of Festival, your opponent doesn't have an attack step. This is one of those rare cards in old school Magic that just takes away a whole phase, like out of the game. Just like Stasis takes away the untap phase, Festival takes away the combat phase. The nice thing is that Siren Skull doesn't care. Okay, you cannot attack. That's none of my business. So now all the creatures of my opponent are destroyed. So it's quite a nice combo if your opponent has a lot of creatures on the board. So that we find that combo on number 3. Let's continue to number 2. On number 2, we have Library of Lang and Simback. Library of Lang is an artifact for 1. It's a continuous artifact and it reads, there is no limit to size of your hand. If a card forces you to discard, you may choose to discard to the top of your library rather than to the graveyard. If discard is at random, you may look at a card before deciding where to discard it. Simback, 1 blue and 1. It's a 1/1 creature from the Arabian Nights. And it reads, tap to draw a card from your library, but discard that card if it's not a land card. In other words, I'm using my Simback, I'm looking at the card, and then I can choose, okay, if it's not a land, because if it is a land, I can just keep it, so it doesn't matter. But if it's not a land, I can choose, okay, do I actually want to draw this next turn, or am I looking for something else? And will I just put it in my graveyard? Or maybe I want it in my graveyard. The nice thing is that Library of Lang gives you all these options. So I think these two cards work together very well. I have never seen these two cards working together in a deck. You know, in all the tournaments I've played, in all the old school Magic games I've played, I've never seen these two cards being used together. I'm not saying people don't do it, but I think people could do it more often. I really think this is a cool combo and actually pretty doable to pull off. Okay, let's go to number 1. On number 1, and I had to do it. I had to give Apprentice Wizard a place here. I think Apprentice Wizard, you know, it's just such a cool card. I love the art. It's a wizard, you know. It's probably getting training by the Prodigal Sorcerer. Who knows? It's 2 blue and 1. It's from the dark. It's an 0/1 creature, and it reads blue and tap and add 3 to your mana pool. This ability is played as an interrupt. And then I want to combine it here with Disrupting Scepter. So Disrupting Scepter is 3 to put on the battlefield. So actually I can already use Apprentice Wizard to summon my Disrupting Scepter for cheap. But then the real combo is that it's a mono artifact that reads 3 and tap. Opponent must discard 1 card of his or her choice. Can only be used during your turn. Now a big problem with Disrupting Scepter is that you have to pay 3. The nice thing is with the Apprentice Wizard, I will only have to pay a blue, so it becomes much easier for me to use my Disrupting Scepter. Also, Apprentice Wizard works really well with the J&M Tome, because with the Apprentice Wizard, I only have to pay 1 blue and 1 to draw a card with my J&M Tome. Okay, this was my top 10 list. Let me know what you think of these 10 2-card combos. If you have any nice, flavorful combos to share, please leave a comment below. I'm always interested to hear from you and to find out what flavorful combos you have. I am constantly brewing on decks, and I love just to add little combos in the decks like these 10 listed here. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a subscriber if you're not one already, by liking this video, sharing it on your socials, leaving a comment. And what you can also do, you can now support Timmy Talks financially as well. So you can join our Patreon page. I think you're seeing it here in the background. You can check it out, and if you want to, you can become a member and support the show. Talking about supporting the show, let's check the end scroll with all the patrons that are supporting Timmy Talks. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Let's take a look.
Icketus, ficketus, sumba, kazee.